Welcome all of you. So today we are going to learn about one of the very interesting topic from chemistry, that is coordination chemistry. Myself Sagar Dilip Bhakre, assistant professor in chemistry. So let's start with the topic. Okay. Complexes. So what are complexes? So complexes is nothing but a arrangement in which there is a central metal atom. It is placed at the center, and it is surrounded by groups of atoms. There may be a group or there may be a single atom attached to the central metal. So such type of arrangement which is quite complex in form. So this is called as metal complexes. Okay. So molecules or ions coordinating to the metal atom are called as ligands. So here we can have some examples of ligand. First we have H2O, which may get coordinated or get attached to central metal atom and will play a role of ligand. So next is NH3, that is ammonia, then chlorine, and then cyanide. So these are the few examples of ligands which get attached to the central metal atom in complex formation, and by this way complex gets formed. They are usually ions or any polar molecules, or it may be a neutral. Okay, so here water is neutral in charge or in form, and ammonia is also neutral, but chlorine is negatively charged and also cyanide is negatively charged. So here the 2 or 3 types of ligands may be there, may be get attached to the central metal atom. First one, neutral molecules such as NH3, then negatively charged such as chlorine, and maybe a nitrogen dioxide or some other positively charged ligands. Okay, the criteria for playing a role of ligand is what, or which type of molecules can work as ligand. So the criteria is what, they should have an lone pair with them. So here we can see that the oxygen in H2 is having lone pair, nitrogen is also having lone pairs, chlorine is also having lone pairs, and the cyanide group is also having lone pairs. So ligand is having a lone pair, and by this lone pair it can get attached or get coordinated with central metal atom. Okay. So we can see some magical things about coordination complexes. So this is the chart which is showing the original formula, then after color, then pair of ions, free chlorine ions, and modern formulations or modern names. So here we can see that similar type of central metal atom is there in complex, that is cobalt. Then again the 3 chlorine atoms in the complex, only the change or decreasing order of ammonia ligand. In first complex there is 6, then after 5, then after 4, then after also last is also 4. Okay, so then we can see that only by change or in number of ligand, that is amine ligand or ammonia ligand. So here there is a change in color also. So the complex which is having the 6 amine ligands will occur as orange in color, and which is having 5 NH3 ligand will be purple in color, and the complex which is having 4 NH3 groups will be green in color, but it will be trans. So its cis form which is having the 4 NH3 ligands will be in violet color. So this is one of the magical thing, that there is a same central metal atom, same secondary valence, primary valencies. There is only a slight change in number of some ligands, then also there will be a change in color. Okay, So one scientist, Werner, in 1893 put forward some things about coordination chemistry, and his name was Werner. So it put forward the how the complex is, it has which kind of valencies. So basically in complex there are two types of valencies. First one is primary and second one is secondary. Okay. So we'll see this formula, that is CuNH36Cl3. So the things which are, or the molecules or the groups which are inside the square bracket, excluding central metal atom, are commonly called as secondary valencies. So here the 6 molecules of NH3 or amine ligand are secondary valencies, and the atoms or groups which are outside the square bracket are called as primary valence. So what actually the primary valence and secondary valency mean, that we will see in next slide. So primary valency is equal to the oxidation state of central metal atom. So here the central metal atom is copper. So primary valency is what then? So it indicates, or it predicts the oxidation state of central metal atom, or which is equal to the oxidation state of central metal atom. So what do you mean by secondary valency? So secondary valency is nothing but the number of groups or atoms which are directly attached to central metal atom. This number is called as secondary valency. So here the secondary valency of copper is what then? 6, because the 6 amine ligands are attached directly by coordinate bond to copper central metal atom. Okay, so this Cl3 is primary valency, which is outside the square bracket, and 6 amine groups which are directly coordinated or bonded with central metal atom copper are known as, or will be termed as, secondary valency. Okay. So some assumptions are there which are given or put forward by Werner's theory. The central metal atom and ligand directly bonded to it make up the coordination pair. So in previous example we have seen the things which are in square bracket is known as coordination pair. Okay. So this is the coordination pair. So let's have one example, that is cobalt, which is bonded to 3 chlorine atoms and 6 NH3 ligands. So all these 6 NH3 ligands are secondary valency, and the place where these 6 ligands are placed, that place is what then? Coordination pair. And these 3 chlorine atoms are now will be termed as primary valency, and which will be placed outside the square bracket. Okay. So Werner proposed putting all molecules and ions within the sphere in a bracket, and this pair is called as coordination pair, and the groups or atoms which are placed outside the square bracket are called as primary valency. And the basic difference between primary valency and secondary valency is what? That secondary valency is non-ionizable. It cannot get detached from central metal atom. When we dissolve the complex in appropriate solvent, this secondary valency will not get detached from central metal atom. But on the contrary, on the other hand, the primary valency, which is outside the square bracket, will get detached or will get dissociated from central metal atom. So this is the basic difference, that primary valency atoms will get detached and secondary valency atoms will, or the groups will retain their bonding with central metal atom. So this is a basic and important difference between primary valency and secondary valency. Okay, this approach is somewhat very correct, which predict that how there will be a bonding between central metal atom and complex. Okay. So here we have one formula which may be written or which will be written in this format, that is cobalt. Then we have so this, in this square bracket there are two different types of ligand. So here we have 4 NH3 groups and 2 chlorine atoms. So 4 NH3 group and 2 chlorine atoms are inside the square bracket, that is coordination square. So these groups or these atoms are directly attached to central metal atom and can be termed as secondary valency. And the one single chlorine atom which is placed outside the square bracket uh, will be termed as primary valency. Okay. This is how there will be a bonding between ligand and central metal atom. So one condition we have seen regarding our concern with ligand is that ligand will donate electron pairs to central metal atom. So here the ligand will be a donor and central metal atom will be acceptor. Okay, so there will be overlapping between the filled orbitals of ligands and empty orbitals of metal. So metal will play a role of acceptor, that means as a Lewis acid, and the ligand will play a role of Lewis base by donating electron pairs to the metal central metal atom. So now where these electrons will be donated or will be accommodated in central metal atom? The central metal atom has some empty orbitals. In these empty orbitals, these donated electron pairs will be accommodated, and by this way the overlapping and ultimately which will result in the bonding. So such type of bond where the one single atom donates the two electrons or a pair of electrons to counter atom or element, such type of bond is called as coordinate bond. So generally the bond needs two electrons, and if we take example of covalent bond, there is a sharing of electrons. So one electron of one atom and second electron of other atom. So this is sharing. But here the coordinate bond is completely different from the sharing bond or covalent bond. Here the needed two electrons will be completely donated by one atom. So one atom will be donor and second one will be acceptor. And by this way the bonding will take place, and such type of bonding is called as coordinate bond or coordinate bonding. Okay. So this was all about for today. So in next lecture we will see some more things or some more basic concepts of coordination chemistry. Thank you all of you.